Gentlemen, welcome to Ukraine. I'm tired, I've got jet lag, it's taken me about 400 hours to get here, but how badass is this? So it's like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that, but I mean, look at the weather, it's nuts. I couldn't sleep. Valentina had to go and do some business that she's got to go and do, so I thought it'd be a good time to have a little bit of a chat with you guys about some things. And what I want to talk about is a topic that I believe any guy that decides to come and do this Ukraine romance tour, look for your dream wife, whatever it is, in the Ukraine or any other country like Colombia or whatever, other places do it as well, you're going to come up with a little bit of a hurdle. And I did it as well. I came up with this hurdle as well. And I believe for some guys it's going to be something that may even make you not want to go and do this. How do you tell your friends and family that you're going to go and do this? From my experience, when I decided to go and do this, I didn't tell anyone except for two people. My sister and my best friend. And just so happens that they're married, so it wasn't such a big deal. I could just tell them while we're having dinner or something. I'm not even sure how it came about. But it was hard to sort of tell them because where I was in my part of my journey was I'd done a lot of research and I'd watched a lot of videos, and no doubt you've done probably the same sort of thing. When you go to tell somebody that you're going to go and do this, to go and find your wife, the first thing that they're going to come up with in their own mind is mail order bride, or you're going to get scammed, or you're going to wake up in a bathtub with like no kidneys or something like that, right? So it takes like a lot of guts to go and tell your friends and your family that you're actually going to go and do this. Chances are, if you're watching this video, this is actually something that you actually really believe in, and you actually believe that this can be something that can make your life better. It's going to put something into your life that's missing. And that's how it was for me. What I was afraid of is telling my parents or my friends and them saying something that would change my mind. And it wasn't that they would say something because they were being mean or they didn't want me to be happy. That would be the last thing that they would want to do. But they're going to say some things that in order to protect you. So they're going to say it's a bad idea, and they'll Google maybe something Ukraine scam, and well, hello, 4 million pages from Google is going to come up with stories of guys that got scammed or whatever. And right so, because there is a lot of stuff out there like that. They're not going to understand why you're doing this. So it can be a hard thing to try and get your head around. And one thing that got me thinking the other day was one of my, the friend that I was just talking about, he said to me that somebody from his work may be going to do this, but he doesn't know. So I rang him and I said, well, I can talk to him. Like, what's the story? And he says, he's been a bit sort of cagey about it, and he hasn't really said anything, but he said he's going to the Ukraine, and we think that that's what he's doing. Well, there's a good chance that he probably is doing that if like all his friends think that he's doing that, or they've got some inkling that he's doing that. Maybe he's single, whatever it is. So he probably is doing that. And the reason that he hasn't told them is because he doesn't want them to think bad of him. So quite often there's a stigma that comes with doing this, and that stigma is like being desperate. I've got a whole other video about being desperate So make sure you watch that one there. But I didn't think of it like that. I didn't think that, oh, I'm desperate, I'm just going to go and like find, I'm desperate, right? What I was looking for was something special, and I was so determined to go out and get it. I didn't want anybody to tell me that it was a bad idea. I wanted to find out for myself if this was going to be something that I was going to regret, because like they say, like, you're better to do something and regret it than not ever do it. And one thing that I always think about is that one day I'm going to be like an old man, right? Like older than I am now, like way older, like maybe 70, 80, 90 if I'm lucky, I suppose. And I'm going to be maybe lying on my deathbed, or I'm going to be at a retirement village or something like that. And what I wouldn't give to have this moment right now. And that's the way that I think about a lot of stuff, is that you're only going to get one chance at doing this. Sure, you can keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, but at some point in time, you can't do it. Or if you do it, you're not going to be able to do it as well as you did it 10 years prior, or 5 years prior, or whatever it is, at the time when you thought that you were going to go and do this. So for me, I didn't want somebody to ruin that for me. And I think it's the same probably for you as well. And guys that go and do this, I have the utmost respect for, especially if they fail and go and do it again. I mean, like, much respect for those guys that didn't give up, and probably a lot of them are married with kids and are happy now. So to answer the question, should you tell your friends and your family that you are doing this? I'm going to put it into one thing. I'm not going to say depending on this, depending on that, which is what I was going to do before I started making this video, but my answer to that question is no. Because it only takes one comment from someone. Maybe it's from someone who is just trying to be a smartass. Maybe it's somebody that genuinely does care and doesn't want you to have your heart broken or get scammed or whatever. But it's not their decision to make. It's your decision to make. So I would say that tell someone so they know where you're going, just in case you do wake up in a bathtub of ice with no kidneys. That won't happen. I'm just joking. Please don't think that would that would happen. But tell, someone that you can trust, and and point them at some videos, even my videos, or just any other of these companies' videos that have good quality content that's not spammy, scammy, just full of fake girls. And tell them that it is possible, that it can happen. And so you do have that one person there that can help you, because that person probably will come in handy later on. Because at some point in time, if you are successful, and I hope that you are, you're going to be in the same position that I'm in now, where Valentino is going to come to my country. Nobody really knows anything about this, but I'm almost at the point now where I'm comfortable to tell what I went and did. And I'm comfortable in myself now that I went and did this because I wanted to find something that was exceptional, and I believe that I found that. So for me, I'm sort of onto the next level, the next stage of the game, I suppose. So when you get to that, sure, you're gonna have to tell people. Yeah, I mean, you could make something up or something. Like, I mean, when I used to talk about it with Valentino, I was like, we'll just say we met at a nightclub or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, I suppose, because think about it this way. There's probably a shitload of guys out there who will be looking at you with your beautiful Ukraine wife, and they may be in a relationship that they've settled for just because that's all there was, and they never knew about this. And I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of your friends looking at you going, why didn't I think of this first? But to answer the question, don't let anybody say anything that can stand in the way of you actually finding someone and actually being happy. Because don't worry about them. They've got their own life. This is your life. So I say just go and do it and worry about it later. Because when you're waking up next to your beautiful Ukraine wife, you're not going to give a shit about what somebody said 2 years earlier or a year earlier or anything like that, because you would have proven them wrong in the end anyway. So hopefully this video helps some guys out there. If you are thinking about doing this and you're a bit worried about what other people are going to think, and whether or not you should tell people that you're going, who cares? It's all about you. So just go and do it, and just go and be happy.